All right, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be driving around a town here. We're going to go to a few different destinations. We are testing FSD 14.3.6. I still have yet to get 14.3.7. Seems like a slow rollout, but I guess maybe they're going to be doing some, I've heard some navigation updates. Also, we're supposed to get the summer release, which should have some new features in it, which we do not yet have. But wanted to go ahead and check out 14.3.6 and how it does with this. I'm going to keep it in standard for the majority of this trip. Last time I talked about the speed control and how it was frustrating that it did not get the speed limits, but around small roads and small towns, it doesn't actually have much impact on the overall driving experience. Usually that only comes into play when we're talking about main like roads, highways, for extended periods of time. Usually if it's on smaller roads, we won't have any trouble with the speed control because it'll go pretty slow, or there'll be other cars, whatever it may be. So we're just going to test it out here. First destination here is just a Mexican restaurant. We're going to see how it does parking in the parking lot at this place, and then go to a few other destinations within that town, see how it does there. Did get dark all of a sudden. It might actually rain, so that'd be interesting if it did rain. I did put some Rain-X on the windshield. It was definitely in need of some Rain-X, especially with all that dry wiping of the windshield and the overacting windshield wipers. When it's just sprinkling or whatever, it'll just wipe the windshield clean and pretty much rubs off any of the Rain-X or whatever you might put on there to treat the windshield to make it beat up and stuff. So had to reapply that. So hopefully it's in good shape now, and it will, if it does rain, beat up and go off the windshield pretty good. All right, so we do have it in standard, and it's staying in the left lane. That's fine. We're going to have to turn left in 2 miles. No problem with that. This is sort of more of a highway situation here. We've got a kind of separated highway, divided highway. Standard should go probably up to 60, maybe 62. I haven't figured out whether it's actually 5 over or 7 over, or just goes with the flow of traffic and doesn't really care. But when there's no other cars around, I'm pretty sure it's 5 or 7 over is what it typically will do, whatever speed it thinks that it's supposed to be. So nobody around us right now, nobody really close to us, in front of us or behind us. It's in standard, and it's 3 over. That's fine. I mean, I'm fine with this. There's nobody around us, so I'm fine with this speed. But maybe it's because it's cloudy. It got it kind of dark. It's anticipating it being bad weather, so maybe that's the reason. But typically, it would only go like 2 over if it was in chill. Of course, now we're slowing down for this light, but. All right, coming up on our first turn here. Should be getting into, closer to these destinations, more of a small town. So this is actually kind of a little bit of a difficult spot. The oncoming traffic, technically the speed limit is 45, but I bet a lot of these people are driving more like 50, 55 a lot of times, because just down the road it is 55. And we're going to get the light, so shouldn't have any trouble turning here because we'll have to just wait for the green arrow. And yep, there it is. is the green arrow, so made it super easy on FSD there. It's starting to sprinkle, so we might get some rain. That'd be nice to get a little bit of weather, a little bit of driving in the weather to see how it does. There's been a few times lately where it's gotten the rain's been really hard. Usually only lasts a few minutes, but it'd be kind of a downpour for a moment. And that would be interesting to see. I didn't get it on camera, but on a recent trip, it did throw up the red hands, take over immediately situation when it was raining hard enough. It rained, I mean, it was a situation where definitely it needed to pull over or something, or I did need to take over, but I don't know what I kind of wish I knew what it would do in a situation where it feels like on a supervised drive, it would need to take over. You know, the driver would need to take over versus an unsupervised ride. Do the robo-taxis just kind of pull over and stop? Or I kind of wonder what happens in that situation. All right, so we did a good parking job here at the first destination. We backed into the space. It is actually the correct destination. We've had trouble with this place in the past as far as it getting the correct location and actually parking at it. So good to see that they have figured that out. This next one, I don't think I've ever seen it get it right the first time, at least coming from this direction as far as where to park. So we'll have to see. I am curious to see if it actually can get this location correct. Because the navigation to this location, there are 2 different parking lots that you can park at, but it would actually park at a parking lot that it was not able to park at. So definitely needs to get the right parking lot. So it'd go to a parking lot that was kind of close to the building, but that actually you would have to go out to the street and walk around to actually get there. And then also the parking lot was not intended for this location. So obviously you wouldn't want to park there, even if you could park there conveniently to get to the location. You wouldn't want to park there. I mean, this place is closed at the moment, so it's a automotive, a locomotive, I should say, museum. So let's see, what is it called? Southern Museum of Civil War and Locomotives. So it's, Civil War Museum and locomotives. It's got 2 parking lots. One is kind of like a very small parking lot right in front of it, which we are probably going to pass. Although if it parks in it, I'd be fine with it parking in it. It doesn't look so. It looks like it's from the map. It actually looks like from the map that it's going to go to the correct other parking lot. If it does, that would be great, because that would be the first time that I have navigated to this location from this direction that it got it right. We went over those railroad tracks a little bit faster than I thought was comfortable. Not unsafe or anything, but a little bit faster than I would have. All right, so we just need to stay straight on this road. Good. All right, so we passed. So over to the left was the first place that it used to park in, and it would always be the wrong location. So I'm glad that it parked. Well, oh man, I guess I spoke too soon. So we're parking across the street at this church, which is not the museum. I mean, yeah, that's a bummer. So let me start FSD, take over. Just going to report that parking situation. We did not park in the right location. We are supposed to be parked across the street. So that's a bummer. It did fail to park in the correct location. Also, it went out. It went into the wrong direction here of the parking lot. Minor things. There's no cars around. Nobody's parked in either parking lot. It is very close to this museum, and obviously I could easily walk there. However, you know, the location on the map should have indicated that the other parking lot was the correct parking lot to go. So I think that's just a mapping thing. Obviously, FSD is just going to see the first available parking spot within the location, within, you know, close proximity to the destination, and just park there, which, you know, it's totally fine. FSD, I don't think that's really wrong on FSD, but I'm reporting it just to make sure that they continue to look at the parking situation. I feel like almost all of my disengagements are parking and navigation. I have had a critical disengagement recently that was, I explained in another video, where there was actually a motorcycle coming that it did not appear to see. We were going to get out right in front of them, and so that would have been bad. All right, so this is a good parking spot and in the correct location. This one I just did a point, so I didn't actually do the destination of like this park to park at, because there's a couple different parking lots that I didn't really want to park at the other ones. So I feel like this is good. Now, there's a few different ways we could actually go to this next destination. It doesn't seem like it's giving us, let's see, it's not really giving us any options like navigation wise. We're kind of going a little bit around to get there. A little bit harder way to go, but that's okay. We can do that. I mean, maybe it's not harder, maybe it's easier, but it's definitely a decent amount further. No big deal. It's not supposed to take too long. What are we trying to do here? We are trying to park in a parking lot. I should specify that so that it goes to the parking lot. Yeah, we're going to go right out of this parking lot. So that was a good parking job. Again, this was a point. So like I just put a pin down at the location that I wanted to park instead of picking a destination, an actual point of interest or whatever. And it did a good job of parking in the actual parking lot. And maybe that's sometimes what you have to do. There's somebody online, David Moss. He has gotten a 25,000 mile streak. I have different thoughts on that. First of all, he must have amazing patience with the car to allow it to park in locations it shouldn't park and get it to try to repark it or whatever, put pins down, repark, whatever it is. 25,000 miles since FSD version 14.2, where it started having the FSD streak. 25,000 miles streak. That's just crazy. But what I will say about that, as impressive as that is, and as much patience as he must have to be able to do that, I don't feel like doing that is anything more than kind of like bragging rights on getting such a streak, because you're not really training the car, because you're not telling it the locations where it's not doing a good job. Like, if it doesn't park somewhere you want it to park, you got to disengage it. You got to give the feedback. If you don't disengage it, you cannot give the feedback. And therefore, he's gone 25,000 miles. There's no way that it did everything correctly that it should have done in those 25,000 miles without just ignoring some things that were not safety critical, but that need to be addressed by FSD. They need to fix the speed control. They need to fix the navigation, the parking. I just don't see how there's any possible way you could go that far and it always get all of those things right. So I'm of the opinion, disengage when it does something you don't want it to do, even if it's totally safe. Disengage and then report it, and that way that's what it's going to do to make it better. So anyway, we did have the one destination here that it still kind of failed to park at, but again, I think that's a map data issue, not an FSD issue. I did report it just for parking, just to, again, report those issues and make sure that Tesla takes that feedback and will try to work better on correcting those things. But other than that, it made all these destinations fine. It actually had the speed control correct, even on the faster road where it was 55 and went down to 45. Everything was correct with that. So overall, this has been a very good drive in a small town. So anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.